Kariotahi beach. Sun's coming up in about half an hour, maybe 45. First spot to give a go. I basically stopped and parked on top of a pile of shells. So I can't quite see what the waves and the water out there is doing, but I figure a pile of shells probably means there's a pile of food around here, and you know, basic premise, fish like food like us. So casting out where there's obviously a lot of feeding or you know, empty shells, it's probably a good starting point. So we're just going to set the lines up, throw a line out here and see what happens. And if we need to move a little bit later on as the sun comes up and we can see what's going on, so be it. If you guys have seen, you might have seen the photo of my bait runner, which I managed to snap, where it goes into the rod off clean, dropping it after about a month of owning it. So the good folks at Shimano basically took it in for service and repaired it for me. So not ideal, but all things considered, I mean, quick turnaround from those lads, and yeah, it's basically as new. So thank you very much, you guys and Marine Deals. So I've just got that out today on the Veritas, and just a combination of some Gemini terminal tackle and what's pretty much a pulley rig, basically. So we've just got some different hooks today. I use circle hooks, and I've been having issues with actual hookup rates. So I'm just going to try a different, slightly different shape of circle hook today and see how they go. So we've got a line in the water, which means now we've got a bit of time to muck around doing some other stuff, like plugging a microphone in. Lavalier mic goes into the transmitter. Transmitter goes on the belt. Receiver sees the transmitter, and we plug it into you. See how this goes. I have some cables because it's all about cable management. So yeah, now in theory we're on the lavalier mic, should give me a little bit better quality. So that lines up. What we're going to do, well, it's out in the water basically. We're going to set the other line up now. So many years ago when I got into fishing, I thought I'd take up some, actually rock fishing I was getting into, and just wanted a slightly longer rod for that, which is this guy. So this is quite a few years old now. It's got a spin fisher for this one, the Penn spin fisher. Oh, okay, that line's extremely loose for some reason. The slow oscillation on this reel is a bit odd because it really makes it feel like you are winding in a lot slower, but it's just a visual thing because mainly a visual thing. You're just watching the, what do you call it, spindle, bobbin, whatever it is. You're turning a lot slower, you're going up and down a lot slower than I'm used to anyway. Put that guy, bait's not even touched. This one's a combination of mullet and a scallop and a bit of mojo and this, that and the other. So throw a few more out here. If we don't have any luck, we can always move up the beach. No point in hanging around if nothing seems to be biting. There's plenty of beach to explore. So we're getting better at the casting. Still got a mate who's offered to take me out, give me some tips and tricks, which will be good. Walking over my other braid line there. Okay. Pull that in shortly as well. See if I can go just off there. That hasn't been touched at all, but at least I guess I can see with the salted bait, a bit of bait line, it's held together pretty well. Like I said, a few more casts, might move up the beach a bit. Caught a rubbish bag. Yeah. Which reminds me of the rant I thought I had today. So yeah, coffee time. I always keep a brew kit in the truck, have for years, and it's based around the AeroPress. So if you like coffee, if you've drunk filter coffee, you know, in the bush and all sorts of stuff, I've tried quite a few different systems. I've tried like a mini sieve with a filter in it, all sorts of things, and I just keep coming back to this AeroPress. AeroPress, you know, butane canister, pocket rocket, and we're away. So this is pretty much the same rig I'll take out if I'm actually camping as well. Camping, tramping, backcountry hunting, whatever you want to call it. Bushwalking these days. Had this pocket rocket for years. Never failed me. I mean, it's probably not the most efficient stove in a pile of wind, and I have got a wind shield I can put around it just to help out with that. But yeah, I mean, just crank it up, use the gas, it'll heat the water up pretty damn quick. Would be interested in one of the all contained systems where everything interlocks, but I don't need one at the moment. I'll try one out maybe when this breaks. Just got the MSR, a titanium pot, which saves on weight. The only thing I've always found with anything titanium, I used to use titanium cups, I don't anymore. They conduct heat really, really well, which means a titanium cup is guaranteed to burn your lips, basically. So I just went back to an old steel. I don't know, I got it when I bought some whiskey. Does me fine. AeroPress is pretty simple to use. Some people pre-rinse the filters. You could do. It's not going to hurt. But it's not like a Chemex or something like that where there's quite a lot of filter, you know, paper filter action going on. So I don't normally worry about it too much. I do what is known as the upside down brew method. Plunger goes in the bottom, coffee goes in. Well, essentially the whole rig is considered upside down. And then we'll fill that up, put the filter on top, let it brew for a minute or so like that, and then press through and pour. I have looked into the idea of the portable grinders as well. The only issue I have is most of the portable grinders, I've got basically a commercial unit at home which is a fantastic grinder, so I haven't found a portable grinder that does as good a job. And the other thing is, it doesn't matter here. I mean, man, I could run an inverter and bring the big grinder, that would be funny. But out in the bush, first thing in the morning when it's dark and you're trying to be quiet, firing up a grinder or a hand grinder or anything like that's not the best of sounds, we'll say, to resonate through the entire forest. We'll call it a bit of time lapse, but yeah, about a minute. And that water is done in there. Filling up the AeroPress, and then I just put the top back on it with the filter, really just to also make sure it doesn't end up dumping out all over the ground, or in my case the back of the truck. And then I just flip it, and it just sits there. There's a vacuum seal going on, so the liquid is not pushing through here. And then I give it about a minute, rough enough. Workspaces. So brew kit's pretty much done. We can put that back. And think I'll be having more than one coffee while I'm out here today. But yeah, it's you know, taking shape where everything needs to go and sit. I'm really interested. There's a front runner. It's actually for the Jeeps, but it's one of those fold down tables that I think I can bodgy onto here, which could be quite useful. I think that could work into how everything is done here. It's supposed to be hot. No, that's cool. It's cooled down. I think that could be a worthwhile addition. I have a camp table that's just a bit more involved to obviously set up in this kind of environment, where really something small and just sort of semi-permanently fixed over there would be maybe a better option. I'll live up there and dry out for a bit. Oh, there we go. It's not a fish rag. Always check that you're not, you know, wiping fish bits on the inside of your pot. That's not a good look. Need to pull that to bits shortly. We're going away for a couple of days, so that's going to get a check rearranged. I'm not too fussed there. But yeah, it all works out pretty well. And then there's the AeroPress that's been brewing for a while, so now we just push this down. At some point you hear a hissing, which means you're pushing air through, so that's time to stop. Yeah. And be a bit, you can extract some bitterness basically if you keep on going to that point, so stop there. Nice brew of coffee. So, Kerry's rant of the day. I took my little girl, 7-year-old, out to Kariotahi Bay last week for a fish, and you know, she's semi-keen, you know, enjoys going out with dad and fishing, so it's like, alright, cool, we'll go out for a bit and then do something for the rest of the day. And it was high tide, so where I normally go out to the rocks was borderline underwater, but we found another track that we headed down to, which was a lovely track, a little bit of a bushwalk down to a beach, a little bit of a secluded area there that we could set up and kind of cast from. As is normal though, which is sad, there was basically shit everywhere, rubbish, you know, and it's all fishing rubbish, it's bait bags, it's tackle. To really cap it off though, there was literally shit there as well. Some individual had decided to take basically one step off the track and take a big dump, leave all the toilet paper, everything there. So the fishing spot, while it was a lovely morning out fishing, just in the background there was always that faint hint of human feces, which is not ideal. I don't think the little girl registered quite what was going on. I had to warn her. It was where you would go play and walk and stand in. I mean, it was like pretty bad decision process whoever decided to take a crap there, considering you could have gone just around the corner and been tucked out of the way and up into the, anyway, bad. So, you know guys, I mean, if I would like to think it's none of you guys listening into this, and I don't know then how you get the message out to the people who just don't seem to give a fuck. But you know, at the moment, I'm a Kariotahi. I would have quite liked to go up to Hauraki, but Hauraki is closed at the moment for all traffic. And I wasn't quite sure why originally, but I was talking to the management crew up there about something else, and then realised and found the article as to why it's closed. So Hauraki Beach and Woodhill Forest up there, they've had some doozy forest fires last year. It damaged, you know, there's the cost of putting it out and managing it, then there's the loss of profit of the trees that are burnt, and basically combination of that and just the general issues that they have with people up there over the Christmas New Year's period, they've decided to close the beach, so you lose access to it. So unfortunately it's that case of the people who are doing right and taking everything off are punished by that select few who don't. So yeah, again, I don't know what the answer is there, how you get across to those other people that it might seem to be just a bit of rubbish or a bag or a dump in the corner because you can't hold on, or go around the corner for a more discreet place. But the result of this, if we don't improve, is we will lose the access to these places. And I'm sure some will be thinking, oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. And there's ways, and you'll just lose access to the foreshore if you don't look after it. When I went back at Kariotahi Bay, as I was up there, all the residents were out for their morning walks with their dogs with rubbish bags, and I spoke to them, and you know, the rubbish bin was full. There was rubbish all around the rubbish bin because people, you know, didn't seem to be able to get it in the bin, or when the bin's full, instead of taking it with them, they just decide to throw it next to the bin. Probably blame the council for not collecting the bins enough. Yeah, well, take your rubbish home with you. I don't know, to me it's simple, but it doesn't seem to be simple to some people. It's good hearing posts and seeing posts on Facebook and the social media at the moment of people calling other people out, and we just need to keep on doing it and try and get it across to people that it's beyond not sociably acceptable to be messing up and shitting up our beaches and our fishing spots. You know, I've already pulled a plastic bag out of the sea on my line this morning. That's ridiculous. So I haven't really had any bites or any action here. I'm just going to pack up and move up the beach a bit. There's quite a few cars passing by and heading up. I'm picking they're probably going up to the river mouth, which I appreciate is where probably I should be, but it's like fishing on a wharf. I tend to head off once all the groups of people turn up. I'm not exactly trying to avoid people, but I'm not really here to be trying to cast around and try and manage my fishing around other individuals. Breakaways doing the job. There we go. So yeah, by comparison, this spin fisher, just the oscillation when you're reeling in is a lot faster than that bait caster, which is a slow oscillation intentionally over there. And initially I was like, oh, hang on, so am I actually dragging stuff in quicker here? But I'm not. The gear ratio, in theory, the gear ratio is different, but I don't think it's different enough to really be causing a retrieve rate, major retrieve rate difference. Yeah, no, nothing at all. Not even touched. Okay, so we'll clear that. We'll move on up. See if we can find somewhere else. Bit of squid, bit of pilly. That's the salted squid and pilly, so I haven't had to do the bait cotton on that, and it's held together pretty well, really. Hasn't been eaten by anything either, so debatable how useful the fact that it's held on there is, but still, we're trying these things, aren't we? Hopefully there's like this giant monster of a fish just sleeping on the end of this. One thing I am going to consider upgrading is this dinky little handle on here. Just doesn't, it's fine, it's perfectly functional, just doesn't seem to mesh the aesthetics something, because obviously fishing is all about the aesthetics, isn't it, lads? But I see Shimano do a, well, it's not aftermarket, it's theirs, but they do a, you can grab potentially the handle, which I believe is off their upper market rods. You know, it's probably a price point thing, and put that on there. So, in a new spot, see how this goes. Looks like there's a gut coming on in the front here, so I'm not necessarily going to be trying to throw it over it. I actually want to throw it fairly close, but I've got a couple of lines, different lengths. What I'm going to do is actually, having said I won't, throw one over the back, and then I've just got a short spinner with some top lures, and I'm tempted to actually just throw them in here and have a play and see if there's anything just up close as well. So we'll get this one rigged up and out the back, and then put something a little closer as well. So based on that last bit of bait that we put out, these pilchards, salted pilchards, are holding together really well, so I'm not going to worry about the bait cotton with those, because I prefer not to be putting that into the water if I could avoid it. Anything we don't need to put in the water, let's not. This is working. I might shift it a little bit over to the right, I think. And you can still get the door closed if I do that, would be the one thing to check, but other than that, yeah, I quite like it. too high, that's right. I think the bail arm might have taken a good bang when I dropped this as well. Have to look at some pictures and see the proper shape it's meant to be in. This is really me just pissing around and trying something different. I just got some small topwater poppers, a small topwater popper from Marine Deals yesterday, just on a small spinner, and I've got my two. Hang on, is that a bite or is that just the waves? Yeah, it's just the waves rolling my rig around. So I'm just going to throw this basically in the middle of my two lines, quite close. I can see just in front of me there's a a bit of a gut. It's a bit deeper. Let's see if there's anything sort of living in the front here. It's also just an excuse to try a different way or a different methodology, which I quite enjoy the idea of. How far? This is quite a light lure. I really don't know how far I'm going to be able to cast it anyway. Probably straight into my lines. Now really, I could be heading up and down the beach with this. Guarantee this cloth will take longer to dry out than the pants will. I'm going to head just up over there a little bit. Only issue is I don't want to walk too far away from these main lines, because if I get something on it, it's going to be a rather long run back. Surf rather than any fish. The only thing slightly frustrating about this, which I'm trying to get my head around. I keep thinking I'm getting hits, but I'm really just seeing the surf. A couple more casts. It's going to be time to change the baits over anyway. But yeah, I'm new to all this, so I'm just trying different things. Another question, how much tension do you guys have on these lines when you bring them in like this? It's another reason I quite like the bait runner style reels, because I can kind of don't have to hold on to the braid. I can just put the bait runner, put it fairly higher tension so it's keeping it tight, and just walk it back up to the beach. When I get close, even higher, lock it in there, and we're away. So I'm just progressively making my way up the beach, just looking and stopping anywhere I can see, either where there's a lot of shells, which to me indicates a food source, and then just looking for guts and holes. So just here I can see it seems to drop off a little bit, so I might as well give it a go. I mean, I'm far from proficient at this really. I'm just trying to figure out where the fish may be. And I figure if you sit at a particular spot for half an hour or so and nothing at all bites, then you might as well try somewhere else, eh? Oh, what happened there? Oh, okay. Way high. Yeah. Really just trying a combination of all sorts of bait, really. I've got essentially got a seafood cocktail and salted that up, which has given me just a pile of squiddy bits and scallops and mussels and everything that I'm just sort of bundling together in bite-sized pieces. I must say, I do like this little rod rack at the back of the truck. Works nicely for just moving stuff and setting it up and breaking it down again. Just Try not to hook up the other rods while we're talking about this though. No, we're good. Would have been much easier, of course, to do this while I was still sitting in the rack, but it's alright. Jam the hook into my fingers, make sure it's sharp still. There it goes. Police heading up the beach. Guess I'll be have to check warrants and regos. Worth remembering, and it's clearly stated on all the signs coming down here, that if you've got a vehicle on this beach, Kariotahi, same as Muriwai, you are required to have a valid warrant and rego, because this is basically a road here. All I'm really doing here with this little popper is just casting it into the surf and retrieving it just in areas where I figure there might be something mooching about. Sort of fishing closer to you, giving me something to do while I'm just leaving those other lines out. They're just running on bait runners. In the meantime, this is really just a case of cast and jig it around a bit and retrieve it and see if anything decides to have a go at it. I think one thing I'm starting to really enjoy about the surf fishing is the fact, and again, I've already stated it, next time I will just start wearing my PFD out here. You get to kind of stand in the water and enjoy that, and, you know, feet wet at the same time. It's just rather pleasant. I'm still figuring out if I have a preference for the spin fisher or the bait runner, actually, the Shimano or the Pen. When you read both of them on paper, they've both got, you know, features, advantages, benefits separate to each other. I'm sure, oh look, a palm or seaweed. I'm sure you guys all have your own preferences for them, what you'd like as well. I like the variable, the adjustable. Oh, look at that! Finally. All right. Finally on something. Probably just as the SD card runs out. It's going to be the irony of this. Without that on my line, but whatever. Kahawai. Oh, early fish snuck up on me there. It's alright. Look at that. Hurrah! Finally, my first fish. My first fish off the beach. Happy with that. Oops, don't go back. No, 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 you're staying with me now. All right, come on. Good size. Happy with that. Kawai. I've got a plan for this actually. So we're going to dispatch him. We're going to bleed him pretty quickly. Okay, so we've had a patrol car and now we've got the bird out. Interesting. Not sure quite what we've got going on, but we've got the, I won't call it what I sometimes call it, we've got the police helicopter down there, sitting just out on the surf. We seem to have a few people, I don't know if they're swimming or in the surf or what. I don't know. Check it out. I don't know if you can see it miles away over there. They might just be keeping an eye on the people swimming. Actually, it almost looks like it's a surfboard out there, so maybe they're surfing out there. So the boys might just be enjoying some scenery. Doing a safety film or something, pointing out, you know, swim between the lines. Anyway, so the first Kawai or Kahawai, I believe, is the correct pronunciation, but I grew up different, just learned it differently, but we're trying to correct and remember that now. So we killed it. We've basically bled it. It's sitting in there just in the some ice slurry. Gonna let it cool down, and then breakfast. You know, I'm gonna have some for breakfast, and the theory is we're going out fishing again tomorrow on a boat, so half of it can be some tataki and half of it can be some bait for tomorrow. Perfect. Just busy fish wrestling over here, but second Kawai on the board, which is good. Happy with that. That one got ickied a little bit better. We'll go bleed him as well. So you have a choice of the penetrator or the demon. Demon circle hook, penetrator is your recurve. You like to strike on them, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, you're already rigged up, are you?
Yeah.
Well, then just put it on that then.
Do I have to run on that?
No, you don't have to. That's it. Sponsorship's out the door. It's all over. Woo. Do you reckon I go pink or?
I definitely got pink.
Yeah. Always the pink.
Going in.
That's what he said.
Fucking beauty, look at this.
Oh, Jesus. It's an attractive bait. I've seen many baits. It's definitely the most attractive I've seen for a while.
What are you fucking doing, mate?
You're talking to me or you? Me? Oh shit, no. No. Oh! You're on already? Oh. Well, I've already put a hook into my finger, so that's a start. What do you reckon? Does that look attractive to you as a fish? Oh. Well, I got a shark. Yeah. Okay. I get you. I got it, buddy. Oh, good. Perfect. Self-release. Love it. Doing that one out.
Yeah. On the orange one or the next one back?
No, I was gonna. Well, I was gonna drop the. No, you got ones underwater, so maybe that one. I'll get you a hook next time at Marine Deals, okay?
Yeah.
Pass me the end. Cool. Oh. That's all right. Which way are we drifting? Man, hear that tension. sexual tension going on there.
Clearly in the first fucking
Yeah, I know. If you were listening, Coast Guard. Coast Guard radio. It's a Coast Guard radio. I see what he did there.
Get it. Get it.
Coast Guard radio, here to serve you daily. Alright, you goddamn fish. Did you book the fish in today?
No.
No, Corman, no. Oh, bro, something. What is that? I don't know, I'm leaving this. It's following it up. That was a big kingy, I think.
What?
A kingy.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
You're going to keep it?
I don't know. If it's on size, I'm going to. Come on.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Good on. Well done. Well, we got one, eh?
One started. It's not going to be much of a meal for us, though. I don't know how I'm going to feed two families with it. I want whatever the hell followed it up. To be honest,